What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Hope everybody's having a great day or night whenever you're watching this. JJ Redick got his first dub as a Lakers head coach, and they're 1-0, and they looked really good. I was actually really pleased and kind of excited for what's to come because there was a few things that were different from last year. Granted, this is only one game, and no, I'm not going to take a victory lap on that because I did think that JJ would be a good head coach. I do think he did a good job filling out his staff with experience because obviously that's what he lacked. But there's a few things that were just different from last year's teams because most of this roster is the same as it was last year with the additions of a couple rookies, and ultimately there wasn't a whole lot of turnover, right? So continuity should already be there. So that should be pretty easy. But playing together, playing team defense, rebounding, there were certain things that were just different than they've been in years past. So we're going to talk about them. The first one, the rebounding. They were a big team the last few years, but they weren't really all that great rebounding with the exception of Anthony Davis. They did great team rebounding. Offensive rebounding particularly. I particularly liked what I saw from Reeves, who I think he had 4 offensive rebounds by himself, and he's a guard. Anytime you get 4 offensive rebounds from a guard, unless it's Russell Westbrook, and really if it's anybody, that's so valuable. Because we expect it from Anthony Davis. We'll expect it a little bit from Braun and maybe some other bigger guys. But when you're getting it from your 6'4", 6'5 guards, that is what can turn a game over and get you a big lead like they did. And you're playing a team like the Timberwolves, who they're a big, lengthy team. They would dominate teams on the glass. That was one of their statements, their marks from last year. Granted, they're changed a little bit because no more Cat. But ultimately, there's still one that you could still see they have all the makings to be a great defensive team and be good on the glass. The Lakers just outworked them on it, which was something very, very refreshing because for the longest, and this is only one game, of course, they would just get outworked all the time. This was probably the most I've seen 4 or 5 guys attacking the defensive and even sometimes offensive glass. We rarely ever saw that under Darvin Ham, but to see that in at least game 1, to put an emphasis on trying to get extra possessions, because you think about it, basketball, it's a possessions game. If you have more possessions than the other team, you're probably going to win. That's just more shots, more possessions, more points. Less points for the other team. I just think that stuff matters, right? Like you can't be the team that gets beat on the glass every single night because great rebounding teams typically are better than ones that are not. That's just how that works. Put it simply, they had 10 more shots than the Timberwolves. That's 10 more opportunities to score, especially on a night where your 3 ball's not falling. That is massive. That's more opportunities to get to the free throw line. And if you think about it, if you're getting more offensive rebounds than the other team, it's probably broken plays. The defenses are probably not set. You're kicking out to open guys, or guys are cutting at the right time to finish it off, or you're just getting putbacks. That happens too. But 10 more shots in a game where you win by 7 and ultimately really kind of controlled it for the most part. 10 more shots makes a big difference. So I thought the offensive rebounding particularly was really, really good. And a change from last year because they really didn't put a heavy focus on that. And second thing, and I think this is a big JJ thing because this is how he made his name in the NBA, off-ball movement. There was way more action off the ball than I ever witnessed under Darvin Ham. And this is what I hate the most is when players, and I mean hate, is when players stand around and just watch Braun or AD ISO. I can't stand that. That is my least favorite thing. These guys have all the attention on them. If you're moving back there, you know how much harder it is for defenses to double and triple team them and collapse on them when they're chasing you? You would think it would have been easy for Darvin Ham to understand that, but for whatever reason, they never did it. That way more off-ball movement, cutting. I saw like 2, 3, and 4 screens on certain plays, and you just see the Timberwolves defense, which is very damn good and going to be really good again, just chasing as much as they can, and that wears you down. And when you're chasing players, guess what you're not doing? You're not rebounding as much. You're not in perfect position to get out in transition. You're kind of compromised. So I think if they have movement like they did and they're doing as much off-ball screening as they're doing, when you have guys like LeBron, Anthony Davis, like Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell, you're going to get open shots. If you work to get open, if you just stand there and wait for them to make it for you, then you're kind of just shooting yourself in the foot. And I think you're doing them a disservice. Like the team passing was really good. They had 4 of the 5 starters had at least 4 assists. That was something that was nice. They out assisted the Timberwolves. I think it was 22-17. 5 more assists. So you're working a little bit more collectively, and I think they also had a lot more free throws too. So you see things like that go down, and you're getting, while the 3 ball is not falling, your open shots are not falling, you're getting good looks, and eventually you're going to get the offensive rebounds. You're going to get the points. You're going to get the buckets. You're going to get the lead. You're going to get the win. And the third thing that I was really happy with was the team defense. Because let's be honest, the Lakers don't, outside of Anthony Davis, do not have like a legit ball stopper, anybody that's like known as an elite defensive player. That's just not the makeup of this team. But when you see guys like Rui Hachimura, who's not a defensive guy, Austin Reeves, not a defensive guy, and D'Angelo Russell, not a defensive guy, all have at least 2 stocks, meaning steals and blocks combined, that's good. That's 6 extra. It's 6 possessions that were either halted or completely stopped by your non-defensive guys. That's big in a game that comes down to 5, 6, 7 points, or it comes down to 4 points and things like that, because the Timberwolves did claw away and get close, but they never were able to get over the hump. I think a large part was due to the team defense. One thing I liked particularly is that they tried to double Anthony Edwards, who is amazing. They tried to double him in the middle of the 4th quarter, and he made the right reads, and it led to 3 straight baskets for the Timberwolves. What did they not do? Keep doubling him. They stopped that. JJ Redick was like, nope. Okay, he's killing it. Never mind. We tried it. Screw that. Just man up again. Let's play as a team. I like that, because Darvin Ham would have let that go for 3-4 more minutes, and they would have gotten blown out of the water and choked the lead, and then had themselves in a dogfight with 1 minute left. Now, I like that he just scrapped it. Tried it for a minute or 2. All right, they scored a bunch. Never mind. We tried. Screw that. Maybe we know what to work on next time. It's game 1 of 82. So I thought that was nice. And I also think what was nice is that, this is just reading the box score here for you, just so you can understand this. They had 7 steals and 8 blocks. So 15 stocks as a team. The Timberwolves had 4 steals and 1 block. 5. So they had 10 more stocks than a great defensive team in the Timberwolves, who have a bunch of young, fast, lengthy defenders that are in passing lanes. They have all that, and they just made way more plays on defense without having the known talent behind it. They had 19 points off turnovers. 19 points off turnovers. I think the Timberwolves had 7. So that was another thing that you could probably allude to with the off-ball movement and cutting. They didn't have that many turnovers as well, but they turned the Timberwolves over. And it leads to, points in transition, which is another thing. They had 17 fast break points. Minnesota had 7. So they beat them in all the hustle areas and all the effort areas, the rebounding, the transition, the movement, because Minnesota was a little stagnant. They did all the things that you needed to do to beat a team that would love to slow you down and make this game mucky and gritty and not a fun one to be a part of. They excelled in all the categories to take that game from them. Minnesota's going to be great. They're going to be just fine in the long run. But I think it's a good first opening game for the Lakers to see how are they going to play? What are they going to do on a night-to-night basis? What's the idea? You played a team that was just in the Western Conference Finals. Granted, they have some turnover, but I honestly think they kind of got a little bit better overall talent-wise. But I was happy with it. Let me know in the comments how you felt after JJ Redick's first game as a Lakers coach, because I thought he checked all the boxes. You want to try some new things. You want to implement a more modern offense, a more fresh offense that is going to take advantage of what the strengths are. And, next game, they might not shoot 20% from 3. Like maybe that was a ballpark number. I don't even know what they shot, but they shot terribly from 3. So if the 3s start falling and they're moving and all this action, they might win the next one by 30. It could very easily be that way if they play this kind of game majority times than not. Obviously, you're going to have some games where you get your ass whooped. You're going to have some games where you just play terribly. That's going to happen when you have 82 of them. But if they can play like this for majority of the games, they're going to win majority of the games. Now, like I said earlier in this video, I do not want this to come off as like a victory lap saying like, oh, JJ Redick's amazing. I thought he did a great job in his first game. I like what the team looks like. I liked the scheme of what they look like they want to do. Makes a lot of sense. It's modern, and it should be advantageous for them. Now, whether that can translate to like, great playoff success or anything like that, we'll figure that out. We got 81 more games to go, but I think game 1, they passed the test. But let me know in the comments if you agree. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe if you like this kind of content. Please like the video. Really, really appreciate it. First basketball video in a minute. I've been doing a lot of football content. Going to be kind of a little bit of a split now that basketball is back. I don't do a lot of basketball content when there's preseason and, a month and a half before the season starts, just because there's really not that much to talk about. But, yeah, you probably see a little bit of a split of football and basketball, whatever is more intriguing and whatever I really want to talk about, to be completely honest with you. So I've done this for a while, but I appreciate you for watching. I don't know what the next video will be, but I hope that the next Lakers game plays exactly like this one, as a Lakers fan myself. But I'm done. Peace.